Hello there, Diamond Doer experts. My name's Melissa Dunbar, and I'm really happy to be joining you here in Diamond Doers because I'm at that stage where I really am desperate for some help, to be honest. And perhaps I should have started here instead of going around the mulberry bush like I have. But nonetheless, here I am. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a backstory so you understood perhaps contextually where I've got to today. So I'm a fashion designer by trade. I just say not a very good one. So I've spent my life really in the marketing, comms and event space. So still in the creative space, and I still use lots of those design skills in what I'm doing. I have a current events business myself called Big Fish Events, which I've had for 17 years. It's really provided me with a lifestyle and some great investment options, but it certainly is not really a business that I built to sell, rightly or wrongly. The next ones I want to build to sell. That's the only reason for doing them. So my background, or I suppose my sort of intro that I often use is that I've nearly covered 1,000,000 miles to do 1,000 events, and they have been anything from dinner for the Queen, lunch for David Beckham, and when I'm talking about weddings, I talk about single or 4-day weddings alike. So I've been around the traps a little. I've lived in lots of different places around the world, and I am an Adelaide girl and have returned to Adelaide to really drive the next part of life from here. 3 or 4 years ago, I discovered the online learning. It's really part of my 10-year out plan, and that is 10 years out to working full time, really. So I'm 3 years into that. So I've done a fair bit of learning. I've done a fair bit of gathering together and developing up a couple of options in regards to the businesses. And I've invested some time, energy, and money in getting as far as I have. We had another business, Leads by Events. When I say we, it's me, myself, and I, Leads by Events, which was really ready to start filming things and selling online last March. And then, of course, COVID hit, so anything events was taboo. So the second idea got brought forward, and that's called Hidden Bridesmaid. So Hidden Bridesmaids is a access to a wedding planner at a fraction of the cost. She will listen, she will follow up, and she will get things done. So that's what I've been developing over the last few months. I got some support and assistance and sponsorship, if you like, from an agency that I knew to help build the website and get some of the copy done and get us to where we are today. But unfortunately, in doing that, they also took me down a campaign route, which cost me $11,000 in fees and $1,500 in ads to sell $15 worth of product. So complete failure. So I put a big fat stop on that and rang you guys really and said, okay, I'm doing this the wrong way. I need to be with people who know this online events, not online space as absolute experts, and see what we can do with what we've done so far to get us into the right place. So I'll just tell you a little bit about Hidden Bridesmaid. So there are 4 service offerings. There is $397 and $597, and they are 3 or 5 sessions, and they're one-on-one. I take you through the 10-step event planning process. We change obviously all of the wording so that it is all around weddings, but it's also just simplified planning for the bride. Give them a milestone document that they can use and talk to them and give them solutions, anything from how to negotiate with their venue to what do they do with a difficult, mother-in-law to be, or they're really just not sure how to bring the creative together, or they don't even know where to start. So the idea literally is you ask me the question, or I'll let you know what questions you should be asking, and I will tell you the answers. So it's really meant to shortcut and circumvent anything to do with your wedding planning. Then the next option is we can do a little bit for you. So you do have your 3 sessions, and then we can take on and create your floor plan for your event, and also your minute-by-minute run sheet, which includes everything that everyone should be doing for the day, so that you can issue that to your venue or to those helpers that are around on the day to deliver. Level 3 is we can have somebody do that for you on the day as well. So you'll do your 3 sessions, you'll get your minute-by-minute run sheet, but we will also reconfirm with all your supplies and then attend your wedding on the day to be your stage manager, so you don't have to worry about a thing. And that doesn't include travel. So we'll do it anywhere in the country. That's not a problem. And then the fourth one is a price on application, which is done for you, the whole service. So I'm not doing this necessarily to develop, us becoming wedding planners per se, and that we've got large weddings on every month. Not adverse to that, but the whole idea is that we are in a situation where the one-on-one is lower taxing on my time. I can train others to be wedding planners so that they can be done anywhere. Time is not the issue, so I'm not, I'm not strapped to a desk necessarily, and I've got a bit more control over that. And it's in a space where the pressure, there might be pressure for the client, but there's certainly not that pressure for me because the events are much more simple to deliver. So there are 4 service offerings. We have a series of products that we keep generating, and that's things like COVID checklists or run sheet templates or speech tips, etc. So you can buy them as single items or bundle items, and I prepared those because they're intended to be a bump or an add-on or an after element or a value add that we put into the service. Ideal client, 22 to 25 year olds, 22 to 35 year olds that are Facebook users, Instagram users, and love the whole idea about going to a party, love the whole idea about planning their wedding, but have no idea where to start. And I do have a couple of those clients sort of on the hook at the moment, and some I'm actually delivering a service to. So they're working, and they do have some money to play with. So they're not they're not doing it necessarily on a massive budget, but they also they understand how much weddings cost. We do have a list. I have about 425 on the list. I'm sure there's 20 or so in there who are examples or samples in the sort of setup scenario, but we do have those, and they've come through downloading a lead magnet, which is on the website, and the Facebook ads pointed towards that, or the Google ads pointed towards that, or through another avenue, through a marketplace called Easy Weddings, easyweddings.com.au, where we're listed on there as a national service provider for wedding planning. So that 43 or so that have come through that are more of a warm lead because they're asking for a quote, availability and packages. What I've done from a technique point of view in follow-up is for the entire list, they go into a nurture sequence, and I've got 5 emails and I've attached them in some of the documentation that I've sent you. Those that have come through Easy Weddings, we get their phone numbers as well, whereas from the website it's just their email, because we decided to reduce that barrier to entry, and we didn't really want them to not not download it, so that we couldn't start talking to them and warming them up. So those that have come through Easy Weddings, I was advised by them to text them around sort of 4:45 the end of their day and say, yep, certainly can work. We're working on your quote now, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions to make sure it's specific for you. So can you jump on a call in the next half an hour? We've had about 10 or 12 that have said yes to that out of that 48. Out of that, we have had 4 who are engaged in the sales process. One at $9.90, which she was all over it, loved it, but we lost because the tech didn't work properly. I do have an outsourced doer, and so we've sort of fixed our process as to how I can fix the tech if she's not available, because it was 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Anyway, she got cold feet, and the family talked her out of it, said they could do all of those things that I was promising, so she declined. Another one, which I have sold at $9.90, and I'm in the midst of working with her at the moment, and she is exactly the ideal client. She's 22, she's done a whole lot of stuff to organise things, but she's in a bit of a mess, and she's not quite sure which way is up, and she hasn't done her theming, so she wants some help specifically with that and pulling it all together, and I'm doing her run sheet for her. And then 2 that are sitting at that 397 or that 597 bracket, but I've had 2 calls with them and can't get them over the line, so something's not right there. I've emailed some of those brides that have asked for the quote when they haven't responded to the text message to see if they'll respond to the emails, and they haven't done that either. So I'm in a bit of a pickle as to what to really do with all of them. A couple of other things, my freedom metric at the end of this 90-day period, I really do need to be at that $10,000 a month. So either I've got to I've got an issue with my pricing or where we're aiming this or what we're doing in regards to volume to sell. But I've, I'm already, maxed out on what I should have been spending on this. And, I'm probably 40 grand in for, at the moment, just over, well, not quite $1,004 in sales. So, and that doesn't, that's not a cent of time, me being paid anything. So, and then I've just obviously, invested in this next Diamond Doers section because I feel like this is, I suppose, my last shot at it in a way. So what I need help with really is the plan. I know that I feel like we're going around in circles and I don't feel like I'm making the best use of Laylin. She is really skilled. She is the second doer I had. The first one didn't work out. So I didn't have a very good experience starting that off. But Laylin has been fantastic. But I don't think I'm using her to the best of her ability or in the right way. So I really do need help in what are the steps that we should be taking and in what order. I feel like I've learned all of this stuff. I've brought it all together and the execution of it it's not hitting the mark because it's not selling. So I'm quite happy to, acknowledge that, and I'm not precious about it either. I just can't work out what's wrong. So I don't know if the offer is strong enough, clearly, and or the sales process is rigid enough. And when I say rigid enough, I mean perhaps consistent enough to get them over the line. I'm not adverse to asking them for the sale or really expressing to them that if this is a match or if it's not a match, that's absolutely fine too. I have had a call where I just went, oh, this one's not going to be any good. So I presented them an option and they didn't want it, which was fine, which really just, I suppose confirmed that. So that's where I'm at. I'm just reading these notes that I've put. Yeah, yes, my last little line. I just feel like I'm tangled between the wedding veil and the, I'm blinded by the Delmontes and I just can't seem to be getting anywhere quickly enough. So that wraps me up with who I am, where I've come from and what I'm endeavouring to do. And I suppose the only other thing is, I still am running Big Fish. We've, because of COVID, have, reduced our resources. So I'm back doing a whole lot more stuff than I would like. But we've got to do what we've got to do to make ends meet at this point in time. So I really just want to get some clarity, get rid of some roadblocks, get this offer right and get our, step-by-step structure right. And really put the time and energy in over the next couple of months and see what we can do to make this work. So I look forward to hearing from you and moving forward from there. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.